The first one I want to talk about is AJ Bombers. Has anybody heard of AJ Bombers before? It's a very small, independently run burger restaurant in Milwaukee. This individual, the guy that owns it, Joe Sorge is his name. He actually owns 3 other restaurants as well. The video I wanted to show you, I'm not going to show you because you can't hear it correctly, but he actually says in the video, AJ Bombers is built by Twitter. He claims that 80% of his customers are Twitter users, and if they're not when they get there, then he will actually train them on how to use it based on the fact that he knows that he's going to get some business out of it. He offers incentives for using Twitter for his customers because he actually contacts them via that tool and gives them opportunities to take advantage of coupons and basically just invites them to be a part of the community. He's created a Twitter community for his restaurant, which is it's a very pioneering thing to do, but it's exciting to know that there's a small business out there that has used a huge mass tool to create a huge buzz around his restaurant. He's also used what's called Foursquare. Foursquare is a new social media tool. We haven't talked about it yet, and it's a location-based. And this is one of those ones that is it's kicked a lot of dirt around about privacy because it's actually hooked up to GPS. So your cell phone will, when you walk into AJ Bombers and you have Foursquare and something on your application, you can walk in and it will ask you to check in. It'll just pop up. Would you like to check into AJ Bombers now? And when you do that, you get points. You get incentives and credentials, and eventually you get to be what's called a mayor. And it's more of a game, but you actually do get some financial benefit from it by being a customer. So it's very interesting, but these tools are becoming more and more popular. Facebook has got one as well now that was kicked out about 6 months ago. So very interesting things, and it's happening so fast. I mean, don't expect to learn all this stuff, but we'll talk about strategy a little bit coming up, and I'll hopefully be able to streamline your thoughts. Starbucks, a few years ago, I think 3 or 4 years ago, they started doing My Starbucks Idea. And this was a pretty interesting and kind of a new thing to social media at the time. This is when people really started to get involved. Starbucks created a campaign saying, we want you as a customer to start telling us what you want. What kind of coffee do you want? And they just created a campaign. People would contact them and say, I like that coffee, I voted for it, and I tried it at the restaurant, or I tried it at one of your locations. So what they did is they actually created a menu that was based on consumer wants and needs. What else could someone ask for? As a consumer, they tell you, tell us what you want, we'll make it for you, and we'll even try something new for you. So that's what they did, and they actually kicked over a lot of good things there, and started creating a lot of business because of that. Domino's Pizza has done 2 cool things that I thought were really interesting. The first one I want to talk about is one of the independent owners of franchises in the United States had the idea that he wanted to start monitoring Twitter. Now by that, Twitter actually has on a page, when you load into your Twitter profile, there's a little thing on the right-hand side. It's a search box, just like you would find on any other search engine. And you can put in phrases, key phrases. So he puts in Domino's, and he puts in the location, and he would actually locate people that were complaining about his restaurant. And this one individual, she was complaining about his restaurant. She had a really bad experience, and she put up something nasty on Twitter. He contacted her and said, listen, I found that you were really upset with my restaurant, and we want to make this right. So he did whatever it took to get her back in the restaurant. I think he sent her some free pizza or something like that, and he turned her into an advocate of Domino's. And now she's someone that promotes it and is excited about it. And she was a notable blog writer and someone that was very in tune with the online community. So now he's really reaping some rewards because of the fact that he did something that was a little outside the box, but very simple. He just looked up, Domino's Pizza location in a Twitter search. It's a breeze, right? And you can connect directly with the consumer. Actually, I want to talk about one other thing about Domino's. Domino's did another social campaign. Some of you may have heard of it. What they did is one person was so upset about their experience with Domino's because the pizza came to the door and it looked like the pizza boy had thrown it all over the place, and it was upside down. There was cheese stuck at the top of the box, and it was a mess. He took a photo of it, sent it in with a complaint to Domino's head office. And since then, Domino's head office, the CEO, has been extremely motivated in getting people to send photos. So he's actually started asking people to start taking photos of the pizza when it shows up at their door. And when he does, to email it to them, or send it, or whatever, I don't know. Get the photo to him, with your information, and then you get an incentive as a customer to do that. Again, he's directly connecting with customers and creating a real value for not only the customer, but for the business. Direct communication with the customer based on how they feel about a product that people that they don't connect with very often because they're never in their restaurant, they're ordering, right? From their homes. So two things that Domino's has done is made them quite successful with Pathfinders. Totally reformat their whole business. Koji Barbecue, another small operator in Los Angeles, they make Korean barbecue. And they make it and they put it in a taco shop. So it's kind of a cool idea, unique business format. What they started to do was they have mobile trucks that go around the city of Los Angeles and make stops. What they started to do was connect with their customers and start saying, you know, they did what Joe Sorge did with AJ Bombers. They trained their customers on how to use Twitter. And whenever they were about to leave one stop and go to another stop, they would simply post on their Twitter to those people that now follow them because they've trained them on how to use the tool, that they're going to be at their stop in about half an hour, or 20 minutes, or 15 minutes. They're their next stop. And they continue to let their customers know daily what they're doing, where they are, when they'll be at their location. Consistent communication. That is driving people out the doors of their office to wait for them for lunch. A pretty simple thing to do to increase your business, you know, astronomical amount, because you might have missed that business otherwise, but now everybody knows where you are when you're there. Mobile trucks is a huge business in the United States, and social media is a huge piece about that success. Burger King, this is a fun one. This is an interesting one. It's kind of funny because Burger King, you know, clearly has some financial issues up until recently when they were refinanced and resold. But the Whopper Sacrifice, it's kind of a funny name, and this was their campaign name. And they, what they did is, who has Facebook? How many people have Facebook? Personal or professional? How many people have friends that they're not really friends with on Facebook? What Burger King did is they started, once they would ask customers to connect with them on Facebook, and what they did is they called it the Whopper Sacrifice. And whenever you defriended someone through this stream, this application that Burger King had created, whenever you defriended someone through that application, you got a free Whopper. So it must have been extremely expensive, but they created such a buzz around that campaign that people were coming in all the time. And, you know, free Whopper, maybe they get a drink, maybe they get some fries. They're in the restaurant. They're in the store, they're buying the product. What happened was Facebook actually ended up shutting this down because Facebook is a quantitative idea. They need more people on there pressing on those banner ads to be creating a pay-per-click income. Whereas Burger King does it, and it was very qualitative. You know, they were creating a bonus on two different levels. They got a free burger, and they were losing people that weren't really friends. They were just mugging up their Facebook.